Alright guys, so welcome to day 7 of our 30 days of Photoshop retouching challenge. In today's video, we're going to be doing skin smoothing, we're going to be doing figure separation, how to create your figure separation adjustment layers, and then we're going to do a little bit of eye whitening, eye and teeth whitening, and then we're going to do background cleanup as well, and then we're going to do a little bit of background manipulation to our image. Alright, so today's video is going to be interesting and very captivating. So if you're a beginner or an intermediate and you want to learn how to retouch in Photoshop, this video is the right one for you. So kindly like this video and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future. My name is Akwadidia, by the way. Let's jump straight into Photoshop and start editing. Alright, so we have our image over here. Yeah, it's an image of a client that I shot. So we're going to start by duplicating the background layer by pressing Ctrl and then J once like this. So we have our duplicate over here. So we're going to first and foremost go around and then clean the image first to get a much cleaner area to start building up our other stuff on. So I'm going to zoom in like this. As you can see, there's some highlights here that I don't really like. It's kind of like some pimples and then some sweat and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and then remove this. So I'm using the spot healing brush to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and then just brush on any parts that I don't like on the image to remove this spot and stuff from her face. So that's basically what I'm doing right now, as you can see. So you just make sure you increase the brush size to the size where it covers enough of where you're trying to remove. That is the spots that you want to remove. Yeah, then you're just gonna go ahead and then just brush. And then always remember to keep the layer 1 selected. That's what you're working on. Always remember to keep it there. Yeah, sometimes you might forget and then you'll end up working on a different layer, which isn't where you're supposed to be doing it at. Yeah, so just keep that in mind when you're doing this. And then when you select the spot healing brush tool, make sure it's on content aware. Yeah. When you select create texture, it's going to give you a different effect. And when you select proximity match as well, it's going to give you a different effect. So make sure the content aware is always selected. And then the mode is set to normal. Right. Okay. I'm using the 2018 Photoshop. So maybe yours might be different, but make sure the settings are done. All right. So let's proceed. I'm going to go ahead and then just remove all the stuff. Alright, so I think the face is looking much better. Let's move to other parts of her body and let's try and then edit this as well. So I'm going to zoom out by pressing and holding the Alt key and then using the scroll key to zoom out. Then I'm going to use the hand tool, that is the space bar. You press and hold the space bar, it's going to activate the hand tool. Then you're just going to drag your image to any part you want it to be, like that. Alright, so we have our hand. As you can see right here, there's not much to edit on the hand. So I'm going to come back to the face. And then with the outfit that she's wearing, it's not revealing so much of her skin. So we have only her hand and then a little bit of her feet and then her face to do the skin smoothing at. So I think that is okay. So we're going to go to the background now and then we're going to try and then remove some stuff from the background as well. Control Z to remove, just in case you do any mistake. You're just going to hold Control and then Z to undo anything that you did that you don't like. So we have this light streak over here that I don't like. So we're going to remove it. So this one, we're going to use the patch tool to do this. So you're just going to select like that and then just drag it to a much cleaner area to remove this. All right. So let's go around this side as well. And then this side as well. Just going to circle and then just drag, circle, drag. So let's move to her feet. So you have this over here. You're just going to circle and then drag it like that. Circle and then drag to a cleaner area. So we're going to repeat this to this side, to this side, like that. Make sure you're removing everything that you don't want, except if you want it, then you're going to keep it. But if you don't, just make sure you remove it. All right, so that's basically it. I'm going to speed this side up. I'm going to catch you up in a bit. All right, that's basically what we have now. Right, so we're going to proceed and then create our frequency separation adjustment layers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a duplicate layer of the layer 1. So Control and then J to make this duplicate. Then we're going to rename layer 1 to color. And then layer 1 copy to texture. So we're going to create our textures on the texture layer and then our colors on the color layer. So I'm going to hide the texture layer, select the color layer. I'm going to come to filter, come to blur, Gaussian blur, and then we're going to set the radius at 4.0. Yeah. So you always make sure you set the radius to a point or a radius where you don't see so much details on the image. Yeah, that's what we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. So we're going to select OK. We're going to come to the texture layer now, make it visible. Then we're going to come to image, apply the image. Then we're going to change the layers to color. You're going to keep the channels at RGB. You're going to keep or change the blending to subtract, and the opacity at 100%, the scale at 2, and the offset at 128. Then we're going to select OK like that. All right, so we have our layers back here. We're going to select the texture layer once more, and then we come to the blend modes and then change this to linear light. As you can see, our image is back to how it was before. If you want this action created for you, I have it in my digital store. The link is in the description box below, so you can just check it out. Just play it and it's gonna create this for you just straight up. You don't need to just go in and then set any radius or anything. Just press it one time and it's just gonna play it for you. All right, so that's it. With that said, let's proceed. So I'm gonna hold Control and then select both the texture layer and then the color layer and put this in a group. So Control G to put this in a group. I'm going to rename this to FS, meaning frequency separation. All right, so I'm going to open the group now, select the color layer. I'm going to select the mixture brush tool. So now we're going to start doing our skin smoothing. I'm going to zoom into her face like that. And then with the color layer selected. So after you select the mixer brush tool, make sure the settings are you make sure the settings are made on your mixer brush. That's what you're going to use to smoothing the skin. All right, so we have the brush size over here at 60, and then you're going to keep this at clean brush. You're going to make sure this is unchecked. You're going to make sure this is checked, and then you're going to keep this at custom, width at 40%, load at 16%, and then the mix at 31%, and the flow at 48%, and then this one at 10%. All right, so with that said, let's just continue. I'm going to come to the face now and it starts cleaning. So we're going to go ahead and just keep brushing to clean up like that. So as I always say, make sure the color layer is selected because we are working on the colors right now, the tones and then the colors. Make sure you're always brushing in the tones, within the tones. Don't brush outside the tones. Yeah, if it's the highlights, you're making sure you're brushing only in the highlights. If it's the midtones, you're brushing in the midtones. And if it's the how do you call it, the shadows, you're also brushing in the shadows. Make sure you maintain this. All right. If there's any problem you're facing or anything you'd like me to know, you can just drop it in the comment section and I'm gonna try my best to help you out with it. All right, so with that said, let's just continue. So I'm just gonna continue brushing. And when you're brushing, make sure you take your time to do this to get the best effect. Yes, so you're gonna continue brushing like that. Just continue brushing. All right, so this part is quite long, so I'm just gonna speed it up, and then I'm gonna be right back. All right, now let's check the before and after. So this is the before, and this is the after. As you can see, the tones are okay now. They're looking much better than before. So I'm just gonna proceed and then just move to the arm because we need to smoothen that side as well. Let's zoom out. Alt and then just use a scroll on the mouse to just zoom in and out. Alright, so I'm just gonna increase the brush size a little bit. So to increase the brush size, you're gonna use the close bracket key, and then to zoom out, you're gonna use the open bracket key. So make sure to zoom in and out. Make sure you increase the brush and decrease it depending on the area that you're doing. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm using my Wacom to do this. So just in case, you can as well use your mouse to do this. I prefer using the Wacom to do this because it gives me more control and then it makes it more easier for me. So if you don't have one, I'll advise that you invest in one to make your work much easier for you. Yeah. So I'm done with the arm as well. Let me move to her feet and clean it up a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna come to the background now. No, before that, let's whiten the teeth. Let's whiten the teeth. So I have this in an action form, so I'm just gonna play the action. As I said in yesterday's video, I'm gonna drop this in my digital store so that you can have access to it and then download and then use it. So you're just gonna press and it's gonna create this effect for you. So you're just gonna use the brush tool to just brush where you want to whiten. So as you can see, you're gonna brighten or whiten the teeth. So I'm just gonna zoom into the teeth with the brush tool selected, just a normal brush tool selected. Right, I'm just gonna then make sure your foreground color is set to white. This one. You just press X. If it's not on white, it's gonna be on black. So you're just gonna press X to shift between the white and black, and then you're just gonna paint and make sure the layer mask is selected. Nothing but the layer mask is selected. Yeah. So you select the layer mask and then you're just gonna zoom into the teeth or the eye and then just brush on it like that. So you're just gonna brush. Let me zoom in, move it to her eyes as well, and then just brush that side as well, just to whiten it up. And then I'm gonna come to the other eye and then just make sure everything is looking nice like that. So we're just gonna add a little brightness to it. I'm just gonna select open this and then create a curves adjustment layer, make a point at the middle and then just drag it to the top like this to create to add a little brightness to it. Alright, so this is how our image is looking. Yeah, it's looking nice, better than before. So this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and then the after. Let me zoom in and check it once more. This is the before and then this is the after. As you can see, our image is looking much better. So now let's go around our image and then try and then fix the background a little bit more. So I'm going to select open the FS, the frequency separation adjustment layers, or the group, the frequency separation group over here. Then you select the color layer and then you use the mixer brush to increase the size and just go ahead and then just smoothing the background, just brush on the background like that. One mistake that I've noticed people do is when they are brushing the background, they make it too artificial. They brush too much. Now the image starts looking artificial, or the subject looks kind of disconnected from the image, from the actual background, which isn't nice. Yeah. So I'll advise that whenever you're brushing, just take your time and then keep it as natural as possible. Alright, so just gonna add more softness to it. Let me zoom to her feet. Then we're gonna smoothen that side as well. this is okay for me. So let me go ahead and then fix the hair. Select the color layer and then the mixer brush too. Zoom, reduce the brush size and then just paint on the hair to smoothen it up. Alright, zoom out, zoom in, check if everything is fine. I think everything is fine here. We're gonna go ahead and then add some texture to the background. Yeah, so that's the background manipulation. So we're gonna select the background layer like this, and then we're gonna come to select and then select subject. Alright, so I'm gonna select the teeth and eye like this, and I'm gonna create a curved adjustment layer at the top like that. So this is what we're getting. We're getting a layer mask over here with our selection in it. Yeah, that is what I intended to do. So I'm going to press Ctrl and I to invert this. Then I'm going to Ctrl 0 to zoom out. Now I'm going to select the background layer. Sorry, I'm going to select the background texture that I would like to use for this image. So I have it over here. So I'm just going to go around and then see if I can get a nice background to use for this image. So I have a couple of ones over here. I'm going to use, let me try this sky effect. So I'm just going to select it, drag it, and then drop it into Photoshop like that. Yes, so you have the sky over here. Let me zoom in to the sky a little bit like that. I think it's okay. Let me just drag this a bit down like that. Then I'm going to change the blend mode to multiply. Then I'm going to select the texture, the curves adjustment layer over here. So on the layer mask, I'm just going to hold Alt and then drag it onto the cloud layer over here. Then I'm going to select the layer mask over here once again, and I'm going to select the brush tool, make the brush a little bit bigger, and then set the foreground color to black by pressing X. Then I'm just going to brush like this to blend the background in like that. As you can see, the lower side is looking seamless, right? That's what I intended on doing. So I'm just going to decrease the opacity over here like that. Let's decrease the opacity at the top. Yes, and I think I'm loving this effect, this cloud effect. Yeah. So let me just play around with other blend modes to see if I can get something much nicer. I think the normal effect also looks good. So I'm going to keep this at normal. I'm going to keep the blend mode as normal instead of the other one. I'm going to keep it at normal. Yeah, and I'm just going to maintain this. Yeah. So once again, if you want it, I have a simplest way of color grading my images. So with the other previous works that I did, I'm just going to come back to it. And then with the color layer, with the color grading layer made, I'm just going to select and then drag and then just drop it on top of the image that I'm working on. And then I have my colors done for me. So if there's some tweaks that I have to make, I'm just going to come to the individual colors like this, like the red, and I'm just going to tweak them to fit how I want my image to look. So I think this is nice. So I'm going to add a little bit of light to it. The curves layer, the point in the middle, and I'm just going to drag it up like that to get the type of look that I want. So this is basically what we are having here right now. If you love this video, kindly check out other videos on this channel, the videos that are hovering right around here. So you can just check it out, and then you can learn more videos. You can learn more tutorials like this. So thank you so much for joining me today. See you guys in the next one. That is tomorrow. Bye bye for now.